I'm over here putting spoons of honey because I may still have a coughing fit. But I was like, you know what? The podcast is our band and I am a rock star and I will give the listeners what they deserve, you know? So,
Yes, thank you for your service. Thank you for pushing through. During the interview with Brittany, Melanie was off screen
I know. I it
for a
just
little
came
bit.
out of nowhere, like just a massive like do you know what? This is like this is just like my body playing a practical joke on me because last time we chat and I was all like, oh, I feel like taking iron has impacted so much, which it has, but I was like down to like how quickly I recovered from this flu. And then my body was like, no, but we're gonna leave you with a lingering cough for 2 weeks, you know?
Yes, we
So
love that.
mm.
Yes, the body always finds a way to humble us.
It
It's true.
does. It does.
Yes.
But no, you two handled it like a pro. But yes, I shall be absent from the screen. When you see me absent, think of me coughing my lungs out in the kitchen. I sound pretty smooth now. Can you hear what the honey's done to my voice? That's
Yes,
quite rich and radiant, you know?
it is. Oh my gosh, I feel it down to my nest of nerves. I just
Luckily,
love
I
that
marked these
saying.
episodes explicit.
Yeah.
My
I
honeyed
just
lip,
love that.
literally. I wonder if that's where honeyed tones comes
Maybe.
from how honey
But
affects your voice.
oh, I who knows?
I'm
Who
just gonna have a
knows? It
spoon
all
every now and
except
then because it's really helping. It's just like, when you
okay.
get that like tickle and there's just no stopping your body fucking convulsing against you. While I
Yeah,
have
she
this
is
honey,
coating her
how have
throat.
you? Oh, do you want to introduce us?
Yeah, let Melanie's gonna coat her throat right now. Let me introduce us while that travels down her,
Mm.
her long neck. Welcome everybody to Of the Publishing Persuasion, a literary, think piece, dare I say, podcast where we really go in depth on literary
Yeah,
issues across the globe. I'm
we're
Angela
super
Montoya.
literate. We're
Yeah,
super,
we're literate.
we're
We are.
literate.
Yeah, here we are. I'm Angela Montoya, author of Sinner's Isle, A Cruel Thirst, and Carnival Fantastico, and editor of Jingle These Bells. And I am here with my co-editor, Melanie frickin' Schubert, who is over here just stunning the crowd with her dolce, honeyed, literally honeyed voice.
Yes.
Melanie, how are you? What are you up to besides being coughing?
Besides my coughing fit, yeah, good. I my leg hurts aside from my throat. I just stuck my finger up my nose. That was joyous. Did you see that? I was just like, what?
Yeah,
I'm very
yeah.
clumsy at the moment as well. My leg fucking hurts, and there's a story behind it, which I think may
Yeah.
interest you. So, yeah, there's like the neighbors below us. Okay, since we moved in like 3 years ago, maybe now there's been a lot of people come and go and I've slowly pieced together the gossip. Okay, because when we first moved in, there used to be this couple down there and they would have screaming matches. Like at first we were like, we've got to call the cops, you know? But then a few
Yes.
months in, we realized no, this is just how they interact. And at first we thought it was her. We thought she was in trouble, so we were very alert. Then we realized she was the angry one, and he just kind of
Oh.
sat there and took it, which doesn't make it a safer situation. But anyway, so that's what we came into, and I was like very rattled by it that first time. But you do get immune, you just get
Mm.
used to that's the couple that have domestics beneath you. Anyway, they moved on. I thought it was fine. But roll forward to a few years later, and there's new tenants down there. And literally, like, not last night, the night before, I wake up to fucking screaming, like screaming bloody murder, woken up by how loud these screams are. And the people under us, the chick was like screaming, "Get out of my house! Get out of
Oh.
my house!" Dude, like I've never heard someone scream that loud. Now, you don't know what's going down there. You know the instinct is run down and rescue and whatever. But they actually recommend you don't do that. The recommendation is call the cops. So, but while it was happening, I couldn't like just ignore the screams. So I just started banging on the floorboards with my leg, just like instinctively, because I was like, I want to do something to break this fight up. I started banging on there with my, but I fucking did it really hard. So now my leg hurts. But I did break up the fight with my stompy leg. And then the cops came and sorted it out. So,
Well,
yeah.
dang. Well, those powerful thighs
Girl, those,
really obviously helped a situation. So thank goodness.
oh yeah,
You
because
know,
now
you put your
they,
body in the line.
yeah. Well, I was just like, you just don't know what's happening. And I just wanted them to know people were listening, just depending what was
Yeah.
happening. I wanted them to know they're being observed. The police were there within like 5 minutes. We were ringing them, but somebody had already rung. So who knows how
Oh,
long they were yelling before I woke up. Someone had already rang, man. The police were there, like boom, quickly knocking on the door. I was like, fuck.
dang. Were
Yeah.
you peeking outside?
Oh
Did you like,
yeah. And the cops
yeah.
came and they looked up my staircase and I was like, just
Yes.
directing them. It
Oh,
was
heck yeah.
wild,
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So were you outside watching at the end, like waiting to see what happened?
kind of, but once they went in, you
Uh,
can't really see anything. We were just like waiting to see the police actually came and just like wanting to make sure the person who was screaming is alive, basically, you know. But yeah,
wow. That's
drama.
some
And
drama.
so
Hell
anyway,
no.
how
Well,
are you?
dang. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, nothing wild over here in the
No leg
country, but
stomping.
no leg stomping. We had a tree fall, so all day
Damn.
today and yesterday, Armando and my in-laws, we were all out working out on the property, so that was really
We
fun.
need more farm
Um,
Montoya content.
yeah,
And I see you
it's
carving
so
that tree
fun.
up in your lumberjaneness.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it's funny because I would have never imagined this is where my life would have taken me. I mean, obviously I love where I live, like I love the country, but I always just imagine myself being a city girl.
Oh my God, tell
But
me more about this because I somehow assumed that you like grew up on farms and stuff, which I shouldn't have assumed.
no.
You were a city girl.
Uh-uh. Yes. Well, so
What?
I grew up in like a small town and then I moved to the city. And then that's where I went to high school, junior high in like
Ah,
big city areas, in the Bay Area in California. So yeah, I was a city girl. And then I lived in LA for a while, so city girl. But then Armando, he's always been in the country. He grew up like, um, here in Northern California, farming, all that stuff. So it
yeah.
was never he could never like we lived in town for a while and he
Mm.
was just like a rat in a cage. Like he was just like stir crazy.
Overstimulated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're out here. So a big tree fell and I was out there with my pitchfork.
Your axe, maybe? What was the
Yeah,
pitchfork
well,
for?
no, him or his mom and I, we picked up the branches and
Oh
then
yeah.
we took them to the pile. That's what we did.
Was
Yeah.
it just like an old tree or was there a storm or why did the tree fall?
Well, I think sometimes like here when it gets really hot,
Mm.
and, like their old trees just kind of like I don't know, sometimes their branches just break, I guess. It's an old oak tree. We have a lot of really beautiful old oaks that are like hundreds of years
Oh.
old. And so she just released a little arm, a little branch that's
Aw, little
huge.
branch. That's
Yeah.
huge.
So that's what I was doing. I did like get some of the coolest news for Carnival Fantastico that I cannot share.
What?
Obviously I'll share it to you. But like it is I think I mentioned that I was working on a short story for Carnival Fantastico. Like it's like a little prologue
Yeah.
that kind of like it's I can't probably say what it is, but I was working on this thing for this potential thing,
Yeah.
this potential like special edition thing. And so I got an email today that like I I'm not gonna lie, I cried today when I got the email, because it is like it's
I'm fucking
something I
tearing
have.
up over here.
I Well, because I like for years since my first book came out, I went to this like certain place and I'd be like, oh, someday maybe I'm gonna see my books there. So you're just manifesting these, seeing these things, seeing your book like in a special edition, or you're just
Yeah.
like dreaming.
Yeah.
And then I got this email today, and like the dream that I never really ever expected. It's a bigger, cooler dream came true, and I'm still just like um
And,
very, very emotional about it. Like it's yeah, it's really cool.
I don't even know what I'm emotional about yet, but I'm also emotional. But oh my God, like it's only been a matter of time. You've been hustling so hard, and I think all these things and more, and all the unexpected, amazing things are gonna come your way, and I'm excited to hear later.
Yeah, no, I'm not supposed to tell a single soul,
Oh
but
my
obviously
God.
your soul and
No,
mine are entwined. They're connected. So we are one. We are one brain.
one brain,
Maybe Jill
one
too. Jill
cloaca.
too also knows. One
Yeah.
cloaca. One joined cloaca.
One joint cloaca. That's such a perverted image.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry for
Yeah.
wrecking the vibes with by bringing up cloacas. Oh
Yeah,
my God,
so
that's a glorious, glorious thing to find out, like pre-release. Like,
well, it's funny because like last week before I ran off to pick up Adrian, I mentioned that like I tried to pitch a short story, or not
yeah.
a short story, pitch a new book idea
Mm.
to Joy Revolution, to the team that has published these books. And it was a pass for that story because it
Mm.
feels very quiet, because it's like more it's like slower paced, and it's more gothic-y-ish kind of
Mm.
vibes. And so given kind of like where I'm leaving with Carnival Fantastico, and where I've been with A Cruel Thirst and with Sinner's Isle, where they're kind of like, they feel like very, to me, like very cinematic, like big books,
Yeah.
big things happening. We
Blockbuster.
got a circus and a car, and vampires and all that stuff. So like I heard the no, and obviously it still hurts, but I was kind of
Mm.
like, oh, it actually makes sense. Like what they're saying, like give us like a big book idea, give us something
Yeah.
that's like up there that can match Carnival Fantastico's like level of enchantment and
Oh,
excitement.
yeah.
So I went from getting a big no, which it's a no with a dot dot dot,
Yeah.
because it could be a yes if I come with something else. But I went from getting a no to getting this email that is like rocked me to the core. So I think it's just like that's
Mm.
just publishing. Like we
Yeah.
get so many no's, so many no's, but the yeses come, and when they come, it's like these huge, amazing yeses. And even if they're just little yeses, they're still huge and
Oh,
so
yeah.
exciting. So, yeah, publishing is a wild freaking ride. That's for sure.
Such a wild ride. And yeah, I think that's so it. Like, I really appreciate you sharing that as well because I think I think that's like a self-awareness that we slowly grow though. Like that one like you felt like when the no came, you're like, "Oh yeah, actually this isn't the one I want to be working on or it's not the same vibe, whatever it was." I definitely I don't know if I've talked about this on the pod, but so the secret project that I was working on a few months ago for some IP work, and like honestly, I feel like that's the closest I've got to sealing the deal. Like there was calls, there was things, very exciting things, and like I know I nailed that sample. I knew it was good, but I'll be honest with you, it was also a pass in the end. They went with someone else. And yeah, there was a moment of like, oh, another no, like another. But then there was also this kind of moment where I was like, actually, I don't even know how much I'm allowed to say about this project. I'm sure what I've said is fine, right? It was like a murder
Very
mystery.
vague. Very
Very
vague.
vague.
Very
So it was for a murder mystery, and like I know I could have pulled it out of the bag, but I'll be honest with you, when I got the no, I was like, actually, that tracks. I don't think I want to sit in that particular space right now, even if I could, you know? And yeah, maybe that reflected in my voice that that's not just naturally the space I would go to. And I think there's kind of this like cozy, different vibe for something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
it's
that's
interesting like when you reach the point where you're able to be like, oh wait, actually that one tracks, you know?
yeah.
Because
Well, keep
no,
going.
no, no, you go.
No, well, because I was just talking with Jill too, shout out, about that. Like, well, maybe we could just bump that up,
Yeah.
that like slower, a little bit slower, gothic-y book, bump it up to an adult, which can kind of handle that space of like a
Mm,
slower burn, a slower book, a little more digging a little deeper, you know what I mean? And I think you can pivot or you decide, maybe not right now, but I think for me what I really realized about myself when I got that no
mm,
was automatically I was like, "Oh, but what about this other idea I've been thinking about for so long and I just haven't jumped on it?" So like I think for like budding authors, for authors at any point in the game, like always let your brain explore and drift off and come and like ask different questions about different ideas that you have and jot them down because you just never know when it's time to try and write it.
mm.
um I've had this like random ass idea. I had watched a K drama and I thought, oh, that would be, I love this so much how they did this. It's with dragons, like dragon shifter thing. And I was like, oh, but
Wait,
I don't,
which one? I need to hear about this
um,
one. Tell me later.
the
Tell me
haunted
later.
palace.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah. I feel like it's a haunted palace, but maybe I'm
Oh.
totally wrong. Uh, so it was like really, really cool concept, but I was like, oh, I don't know about dragons, but what
Mm.
if they weren't dragons? Like, what if it was based off of like Mashika lore? Like, what if it was, a feathered serpent? And so, like, as throughout the months, I've just been playing with this idea and like
Mm,
formulating what ifs and like what these characters would look like and what they would be doing. And so when I got the pass on what we were trying to pitch, and my editor was like, but if you have any other ideas that are like maybe with something with a dragon." And I was like, oh shit, like I've been thinking about something like with dragons for months, but I've never even done anything about it. I've just been playing with it in my head. And so I was like, oh, maybe this is a big magic moment that I've been, that story has been like in my brain, just kind
mm,
of like growing into something, but I've never let it try because I've been doing other things. And so it might go nowhere again, but I've been playing with all these ideas that it's like I could try it. And so, yeah, I just think of like all the time we spend sort of waiting
mm,
as writers, like when we're querying, when we're on sub, and I know it's like it's can be overwhelming, and really hard mentally, but like let yourself play in your own mind with different stories, even if you don't write it, but just like
mm.
let your brain go, and you just never freaking know where it might take you. So yeah, so I was ready. I was like, wait a minute, I think I might have something. So we'll see. We shall see. Publishing.
You are an icon. And honestly, I'm just listening to you talk and like this is like what makes the difference. Like I think that not just the art of pivot, like having like not putting all your mental eggs in one basket, I think is like part of the importance of the pivot. like you
Mm,
said, letting your brain play and like cook away with this idea that you've been able to circle back to. And I fully agree that like nothing we kind of work on is wasted because at some point you can cycle back and like pick up that old idea and be like, okay, wait, now I know what to do with it. And like,
yeah.
and yeah, like honestly, like this industry is a lot more rejection than anything else. And I really think like that even for people who are in it for ages, there's rejection at every point. It's not like I think you'd be surprised, not you, but I mean the general you. People would be surprised how often even like best-selling authors might have an idea that doesn't sell. It happens. It's just
Mm,
part of the journey. And I really think that like that's something that makes you so iconic and like inspirational, dare I say inspirational, aspirational as well. Um,
mm.
you know, you are though because I just kicked my diffuser over. Did you hear that? What a sad little sound it made.
No.
I realized that that's probably what caused my coughing fit. I turned the aircon on, but with the
Oh,
heater,
yeah.
it dries out the air. So I put my diffuser on, puffing out wet air, like the hydrated air. Sorry, here I was getting so involved, getting so like lit on my own monologue, and I fucking kicked my diffuser over. Anyway, I just think you're cool. I think listeners should listen
Mm.
to like how you are constantly like pivoting, looking for new opportunities, even with the anthology. Like this wouldn't be happening without like without you. You know, like it's like you were the one who were like, wait, we could actually do it. You know? Like I tend to have some harebrained ideas and like things that I throw out there, but you're often someone who's like, wait, though, what if we actually did that? You know? Let's make it happen. And I just think it's part of the magical brand of Angela Montoya. And
Oh,
I just think that, yeah, you're already such a shining star, but I just feel like your future is so fucking bright. Um,
no, honestly, the anthology, well, sure, I was like, yeah, why not? But it was your wild brainchild of just like, we could do this. And then I think you just needed the permission of being like, yes, we could. And then you're like, no, we're fucking doing this.
yeah.
And like, no, you have been absolutely slaying this anthology. It's been really fun watching you grow as a writer and an editor and like and a business owner and like all the things. So yeah, we're just slaying. We're slaying the house down with all things. Yeah, it's been fun watching you learn all of your proper commas, quotation marks,
I still don't
ellipses.
fucking know if we've learnt them all, honestly. Like, there's definitely gonna be some errors, friends. You know, but it's our first one. Cut us some slack. You know?
Yes, but you're gonna be so floored by all these really awesome stories. So,
Yes. I
oh
will
my
say
god,
that we have gone through it with a fine-tooth comb to the best of our ability. But I have to say, like, just so you know, when I'm reading through and I'm like, wait, there's an error, and then I see you caught it, I'm just like, mm. Like honestly, it's like, you know, when you're like, my co-editor caught it. You just feel so proud, you know what I mean? Because you're like, wait, I was gonna,
yes,
this is a mistake, and then I see you already caught it, and I was like, dang. And it's little things, it's little finicky things. Like, will someone explain to me why every piece of work I've ever read, basically at this point, has some of these straight ass apostrophes and quotation marks? Where do they come from? It's not another font. It's in all of them. And let me tell you, they're hard to fucking pick when you're like getting into the story. That's the kind of shit we've
yeah,
been dealing with right now.
yes. We've been hard at work looking at all the searching for straight quotations versus the curled cutesy ones.
Which is what we
But it
want.
is so weird because there are some like one of the ones it was like a chunk of
Yeah.
all of like the them talking back and forth and it was like all these straight
Yeah.
quotations and so they had to go in manually and well now you learned the trick of like searching the document and just switching it through there and I was like 20 hours later I was like doing it one by one. But
I did it for
we're
the
learning.
apostrophes, but I'm not gonna lie, for the quotation marks where there's like hundreds, I was like, I cannot eye fuck each one individually. I've just got to trust my eye to pick them out. I did
Yes.
do it for the apostrophes, um, and then it's just highlighted as I go through because that seems to be the most common one. But yeah, the things you learn
The
being an
things you
editor.
frickin' learn. Yes. Well, and honestly, it makes you a better writer too, because it's these getting to ask the authors questions or like ask them to dig deeper,
Mm,
like with the internal sort of struggles that the characters are going through. And so it's like I feel like I'm growing as an author by learning how and watching how the other authors like react to our like nudges or like our critiques and watching them
yeah,
absolutely like slay revisions.
they have slayed it.
It is such an honor. It's so cool. I can only
Yeah.
like I can imagine how the authors at the big pub houses when they get to see their books like soar on the shelves and they're just like, yes, yes, there's my girl, like she did it, like it's
Yeah,
really really fun.
true. So, so true. Do you have
So
like a
we're gonna
favorite part of working on an anthology so far?
I would say it's been working with you. I would say
Stop. In
no,
my
but
feels.
really, it has been awesome because we're so in tune and
Mm.
it's very easy. And you just kill it. You figured out how to do everything. Thanks, obviously Robin Alvarez,
Oh my God.
our queen,
Yeah,
has been like
Robin,
holding our hand.
she has been holding her hand. Like, if I look good, it's because Robin has been behind me, like, just doing my hair and my lighting and figuratively, like, uh,
Yes. Oh, I love that.
and holding my fucking hand for sure. Like, there's no way we could have done it this quickly without her because she's done this stuff before and she has the actual knowledge behind it and has like just guided us through just like the most patient, wise, fucking hardworking and talented guide you could ask for. Like, I'm just so fucking honored to work with all of you. Like, but she really has just made it like she's lit the path. Otherwise, there's no fucking way we would know the path was there.
Oh gosh. Just the group call we had where she was guiding you through
Yeah.
like putting it on Amazon or whatever the fuck. Like there were so many steps.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were on
So
Zoom all together for like 8 hours that day, the
yeah.
three of us. It was
Shout
nice
out.
though.
What's been
I
your favorite part?
probably that as well. Wait, let me think now. Definitely that. It's hard to like split between something like that. But since you've gone with that, like yeah, like honestly, like I agree, like our instincts, you and I, that's made working together such a pleasure because I think people can work together and they can clash and have different ideas of where it's going to go. But because we are quite in sync with our vision, it is such a pleasure to work together because I know that we're going to agree like, and if we don't, I'm going to want your opinion and like to understand why not, because then I probably
Yeah.
won't as well. Like it's
Yeah.
just I think as a general though, yeah, we're super in sync. But I will say aside from that, I am having a lot of fucking fun doing these doing cosplays with my husband Phil and like bringing to life these stories. I have to tell you, I'm about to drop one that is gonna
I've
hit your
been
jaw on the
waiting.
floor. Yeah, I've got one for you
I've
right after this.
I have been waiting like since you posted the last post. I have been checking like, okay, where is this bitch with this post? Okay, good. I
As soon
can't
as we're
wait.
off, like I was going to do it last night, but I was so tired and I was like, no, I want to drop it and be able to like interact a bit and not be like, "Ah, I have to go to bed now." But yeah, this one
Ugh.
I'll tell you which book it's from, or do you want to be surprised?
Well, isn't it from yours?
No, I started
Wait,
working on that I'm working, girl, there's like 15 stories. I have to be working on all of them to deliver full cosplays by
okay.
November and beyond.
Oh, I
So
was
I'm
expecting
working,
anal beads.
yeah, the anal beads that I've been sewing, there's some leftover stuff here that I'm still working with. That is for my story. That's gonna
Okay.
be, I might end up doing mine last, but I
Okay.
wanted to start when I have the ideas, and then if I'm like feeling inspired, then it's fun to work on and it feels like a break, so I'll do it then. But I've got to
Okay.
work on it slowly because I want to do one for all 15 stories. So, but no, the one the one that I'm going to drop today might be for a certain demon situation. So just prepare yourself.
Oh my
Prepare
God. Oh,
yourself. I'm
I
just like
can't
bouncing my
freaking
titties on
wait.
the screen as I think of Krampus Daddy.
Oh my God, this makes me so excited. Yes, Mama has been working. She's been working like the devil, dare I say. Although I
Yes.
don't, is Krampus the devil? I don't know.
He's some kind of
He's a
demon.
demon.
He's a
Yeah.
demon-esque, you know?
Yes. Oh my freaking gosh. I can't freaking wait. Okay. Yes. Let us introduce our amazing guest so then Melanie can get off of here and post her her cosplay. Oh, okay. So excited.
You're gonna
So
lose your
obviously
shit. I'm gonna
yeah.
actually
Oh
amp
my
this one
gosh.
up. You're gonna lose your shit.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Yes. Amazing. Okay, I have 1 minute and some
Yeah.
on. Okay. So I'm going to introduce our amazing
Hmm.
light of the world guest who is just an absolute gem. Britney S. Lewis is the award-winning and acclaimed author of The Undead Truth of Us and The Dark Place, both published with Disney Hyperion. She lives in Kansas City. You can follow Britney on her quickly growing TikTok account, where she loves talking about author success stories, book tropes, and connecting with readers. Yes, her next book, Blood Moon, comes out very soon. So get ready, world. I know I'm not ready. I think I said I'm excited about this book at least 50 times during this episode. So
It looks
beware.
and sounds legendary. She's a little legend. Like, honestly, just listening to everything she said, I was just like, it made me proud all over again to be part of a community filled with people like that who are just like constantly like looking to like rewrite the system and like find I don't know, just like always hustling, always searching for like a way to make it through. And I'm just like so inspired by our community. And yeah, here she is. Before I go on a side quest.
Hey. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. How are the two of you?
We are so good. Hopefully, I was telling Melanie my internet today has like been spotty. So as long as you can hear me, that's okay.
Okay, cool. Perfect. You know what? I usually don't have any internet issues until I hop on for an interview for something. So, in the case that happens, I'll just jump back on the call.
Perfect. That's all. Hey, you know what? We're going to make it work. We're making it work today.
Across
Yes.
3 time zones, I believe. So, maybe the internet is just when it's three, it's like, oh my God.
Yes. That's exactly what it is.
Yes, the internet is tired. She's been working. Yeah. How are you
She never
feeling?
stops.
No, you never stop either. Speaking of, like, how are you feeling right now? How is life?
Life is chaotic. It's crazy. I'm doing good. It's like it's weird because I just got off work and I ran to the store because I didn't have any creamer and I really wanted espresso. And I was like, I gotta go to Target, or like that's like the closest thing near me. It's like 5 minutes away. It's like 5:30, and I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm crazy. Like, why am I adding more stress onto this? And then like, I was like, should I wash my hair right before the right before the I just like to add extra stress in my life for whatever reason. So,
Oh my God.
um, that's been my day following up to this.
You
I
you
love
are
it.
my people. That is literally like I'm like, wait, maybe I could just get this post up. Maybe I could just I ran out for
Okay.
coffee. It's
Okay,
like
good.
valid though, okay? Although I'm
Yeah.
judging you a little for the creamer, as I judged Angela long ago. Tell me about the creamer. Is yours also flavored or is it like what is your creamer?
I did get flavored creamer today. I usually do. I I'll be honest though, I'm way better than I was. Like whenever I started drinking coffee in college, it was mostly creamer. So now it's at least coffee and some creamer. And I think that that's a really good balance for and growth, for me.
Yes.
Um But yeah, I get flavored creamer. Starbucks has this like horchata creamer that oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. They're all sold out at my store, of course. So I got pumpkin spice, very basic, white girl fall, so
You
And
must.
horchata? Did you say like horchata, the other one?
oh my God, I love it. That's my favorite
Haven't
creamer.
had
They like
that.
it just came out. It just came out.
Ooh.
Obsessed. Sold out though, of
Yeah,
course.
that sounds so good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one, so I need to
I
get in on
saw
the
it
action.
once at my store, and like where I live is like super diverse neighborhood. So I'm not surprised that it's all gone. But like, man, it's like you got to try it once, and now it's like I know that it's never gonna be in stock at my store ever again. Like you have to be there when the truck unloads. Like basically,
Oh.
it's crazy.
I love it.
But
Well,
yeah,
okay, you're gonna
it's
have to
good.
get there. You're gonna have to know the delivery date and time so you can get on the action. Are you feeling? Because you said pumpkin spice creamer. Like, are you feeling in your fall girl era? Are you in fall vibes right now? I mean,
I am split in between the two. Okay.
mhm.
I want to be in my fall girl vibes, but the thing is, admitting that I'm in fall means two things. The first is that it means my book comes out, and low key, I'm not really ready for that. I would like to just live in this in between purgatory, like a month before the book comes out and it not coming out for as long as possible. And then two, fall means winter's next, and I just don't really like winter. So, at least
Mm.
in the Americas.
This is valid. This is valid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I do. I'm in my fall girl era though. I've been slowly
So
buying
nice.
things.
What is
So
that?
nice.
Is it like a
It's a
blanket?
throw
A
blanket
throw blanket. Okay.
with pumpkins. You know. Hey,
Beautiful throw blanket.
thank you. I agree. It's
It
very
was a
comfortable as
choice.
well.
No, I do not celebrate that blanket. It feels neither here nor there. Doesn't feel Halloweeny. It doesn't feel fally. It's just pumpkins, Angela.
Whatever. Enough about me. Brittany, we want to know more about you. We want to know the hard
Mm.
facts.
Oh
What is
God.
the strangest thing you own?
I was thinking about this for a long time, and I genuinely don't know what it is. Like, I'm like, what is the strangest thing I own? Like, what is it? Like, I'm like looking at all my things. Like, I'm like thinking about what's in my garage. I just, I don't have any things that are strange. I don't like, but I will say, I don't really own these things. My husband does, and he has an entire collection of Funko Pops. Like, I'm saying, like, maybe close to 600. It's a lot. There's a lot of fun. It's a lot of Funko Pops. If he's listening to this, I love you. But yeah, he has so many Funko Pops, and like that is, I think like when anyone sees his collection, they're like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. Like this is real. Like, yeah, it's like a little store in my basement.
I was gonna say, where do they all live? Because when you said he has a lot, I was like, oh, it's gonna be like 50 to 100 max. And then you said 600, and my brain exploded. So they're all down in the basement.
They're in his space, he has his little
Amazing.
cave, he has everything like organized. He's super like organized when it comes to all of his collectibles. So he collects
Mm.
many things. Funko Pops are one of the things that he collects. He has them like numbered so that they all have their own numbers. They're all organized by number. They're in tubs now, so they're in a safer place. Yeah, he keeps them all there, and it's cool to look at them. He's given me a few of them, and they're in my office now. But I told him like I don't need any more. Like I am good. I don't need any more Funko Pops.
You're like, I support you. I support you, but enough. Enough's enough
Yes,
over here in my office. I
exactly.
love that. That is the fun. That's fun. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, what is something that you think about way too often? What is your Roman Empire?
Something I think about way too often is probably like humanity. I think like this is like my newest Roman Empire, and I think a lot about people that think differently than I do. And I wonder often about like people that are apathetic. And I
Mm.
just wonder, like, what is it like to be that kind of person? How do you move and breathe through life? And also, like, why? Like, why? You know what I mean? So I've been asking a lot of humanity questions, lots of whys. I can't stop thinking about that. And then the other thing that I'm consistently thinking of is the second book in the series that I'm writing, which the third act is like blown my brain apart. I just, if I don't make it out after this, it's because I didn't finish the series. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I got here. This is really, really hard.
Oh my gosh, I can only imagine. I haven't done a series, so I can only imagine like the pressure and the stress and all of
So
it.
much pressure, so
Yeah.
much stress.
But
Oh
I'm
my
sure
Yeah,
it's going to be amazing. We are
thank you.
waiting for it. We are thirsting, hungering for it. So,
yes.
yes. So you got this. You got this. I promise.
I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
I'm pumped. Honestly, like your cover is so gorgeous that I can only imagine like where we go from here. You know?
I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. Like someone asked me, like, do you know what the second book's gonna look like? And I'm like, it's not even done yet. I have no idea. I have the arc here. Like they sent me one copy of like the finished hardcover, and it's downstairs, and I just don't feel like going to go get it. And I'm like, dang, that sucks. I guess I guess we're gonna look at the arc again. But no, I am obsessed with the cover. I really do love it so 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 much. I am thankful that it came out the way that it did. Um, yeah, I'm obsessed with this cover. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
feel like you should be. I feel like the world is going to be obsessed with it if they haven't seen it yet. So I am so thrilled for you. I can't wait for my copy so I can just hold it and hug it all the
Aw.
time. I want to take us back to like the beginning. Like, did you always want to be a writer?
You know, I didn't always want to be a writer, but I think that I always was a writer. I started journaling when I was 7, between 7 and 8. I got this diary from a scholastic book fair in my elementary school. It was such a fun time. And I remember, like, I thought it was so cool back in the day. I say back in the day. They used to get, like, take your picture, like your school picture, and they would put it on this little card, and they would have like, if you ever go missing, this is what you would. You know what I'm talking about? This is like
Yeah.
what you look like in this moment. And I took that little picture of me and I slipped it in the front of the diary because there was like a little heart cut out. And I was like, okay, so there's a picture of me here. This belongs to me. There was no lock on it. So like I would like hex the beginning of the diary. Like if you go past this point, you will be cursed. Like all this crazy stuff. Um, Obviously that didn't work. But I started writing every day in this diary when I was around 7 or 8, and it would just be like chaotic stuff, like, just stuff that happened at lunch, fights with friends, the crush on the boy next door, like just like random stuff. It was so fun for me. And I remember being also in third grade and starting to read one of our first assigned books, and like I hated it. It was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. This is someone's favorite book, I'm sure. But I hated the book. I was like, this is awful. I don't understand it. Like, this is so boring. I would rather just be writing in my diary. I have other things to do with my life. And I remember writing a report or reading a report on this book that we were supposed to be reading and not exactly knowing what the book was about, but just having to get this turned in anyway and getting feedback on this paper that I wrote. And the one thing that the teacher gave me a compliment on was my use of grammar. And I thought, oh my God, I'm so cool. I'm 8 and I use a hyphen correctly. And it was just, that was my first use of hyphens and em dashes. And so um, that was incredible for me. So I didn't always want to be a writer or an author. I just started doing it. And then when I was 17, I finished the Twilight Saga. And I fell into a reading slump. I did not know that that's what it was back then. but I just couldn't find anything else that was similar to it because there wasn't a whole lot in that genre yet whenever it was kind of like in its mass exodus, I guess. And I was also kind of pissed off about what happened to Jacob and many other things that happened in the Twilight Saga. There were a lot of things that made me very upset and very frustrated. And I'm a passionate, emotional teenager. So I just started writing my own stories after that. Like I picked up my computer, I set it down, and I was like, I'm going to figure this out. And I wrote a thriller about this girl in Kansas City who ends up dating this guy who might be related to all these like missing murders of these girls in the city. So it was fun. That was when I decided I was going to be an author, and I didn't stop after that. So that's how it happened.
Oh my God. I love that so much. And I'm always so grateful to these early people, that saying like, give people their flowers, like now. Like those teachers who were like, hey, you're so good at this. I know it's like part of their job, but some people will withhold that like praise from you, and getting those little
Yeah,
points of like, you've got something here is like such a guiding light, I think. Yeah.
I agree. And it's like those moments really are so big because for me,
Mm.
like I'm thinking, who cares about this thing, you know? And I didn't even realize that I was using grammar correctly.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're just
and
that
so
girl. You're just that good at it.
just
Like,
literally just that girl, a natural grammar queen. But knowing, I didn't know that I was a natural grammar queen yet. So when the teacher told me, I was like, oh my God, like you're right. Like I am.
Yeah. You are.
hair flip. Yes, you're right, teacher. I am
Oh
that
my
girl.
God.
Oh my God, I love that. So, okay, once you decided to start writing, like what happened from there? Take us a little bit on your journey to becoming an author.
Oh my God. Okay. It was chaotic, of course, like my life in today so far. So, after I decided that I was going to actually become an author, I finished writing that book, that thriller. And it took me a year to write it. So, I started writing it when I was like 16, 17. And then at this point, I actually ended up moving in with my grandmother. So, I moved like cities and I moved like, um, I say states. I live in Kansas City, Kansas, and there's also a Kansas City, Missouri, and they are like they touch each other like this. So, for example, Casey Mo is 5 minutes from here, but I go back and forth between the states all the time. So that's important to know. So I moved to Missouri from Kansas, and I moved about 30 minutes away to a suburb outside of the actual heart of the city. And it was the first time that I saw like cows, right? So um, I moved to the suburb with my grandmother, and I had nothing but my laptop and the library that's nearby. Because at this new school, like everyone is completely different than me, and it's just a whole new learning experience. So I really like dove into figuring out like how to get a book published at that point. So I would spend most of my time at home either reading, playing The Sims, or trying to figure out how to get a book published. Like that was like my go-to every single day. And I eventually discovered that like in order to get my book published, I would have to get like a literary agent, and then I had to figure out where do I find these literary agents and how do I reach out to them. And there were like all these databases, and the one that I used to use was called like querytracker.net or something. And I printed all these pages out, and my nana was like, "What are you doing? You're wasting all my ink. Oh my God." It was a fun moment for me. I didn't edit this book at all. Like I didn't realize that was the thing that I needed to do. I just like wrote a query letter. I learned how to write one. I started printing out pages and started sending stuff to New York. And I got a bunch of rejection letters, obviously, guys. Like, but I was convinced I was going to be the next big thing. Like Veronica Roth had just like sold the Divergent series, and I'm just thinking, oh my God, she can do it. I can do it too. This is so exciting. But that didn't happen. And lo and behold, I ended up graduating from high school, and I went off to college where I put my writing dreams on pause for the first 3 months of school because I was trying to figure out what college was like. And also I was really boy crazy. So, God, it's so embarrassing. So at this point, I started like rewriting the story, and that's when I realized like there was no revising. I just need to start over. So I started writing a new book. I started learning how to edit. I started understanding what critique readers were and beta readers were. I started like going to Query Rehab. There used to be this forum called, I think, Query Shark,
Yeah.
where, do you know what I'm talking about, Angela?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
We're in the
There
right
was this,
places.
uh,
Yes.
yeah, there was this badass agent. I think her name maybe was it Janet. I think she's passed away now, RIP. But she would like you could submit your query letter to this website, and then she would just tear it apart. But it would be so helpful because you would learn like why it didn't work for her and why it might not work for the industry. So I was like just doing all of this research in college, and like I would do most of my writing during like summer breaks and winter breaks, and it was like living the life, like drinking my tea and like writing my stories in my bed with my pajamas. And I think I probably ended up writing like 3 or 4 books in college, and all of those were like just rejection after rejection after rejection. Like I would be walking to class, opening up my email, getting a form rejection from an agent, and like being terribly sad, and then being in business 101, it was like I hated that class. So
Even worse too, right? That's
Also,
extra painful.
awful.
also, oh my God, sorry for disappearing. I'm just like getting over the flu and it's done, but I just have a coughing fit. We've got soothers now, so sorry for just vanishing off screen. I'll just mute
It's
myself
okay.
when I need to cough, just so you girls know. Sorry.
I felt for you, but okay. Yes.
Okay, so you were in college, we're getting rejection letters. Like what was the thing that got the final yes when it came time to
Yes.
query?
Thank you, Angela. So I graduated from college. It's a very long process for me. At this point, I've been writing and rewriting multiple books over it was probably maybe 7 years at that point. And I had also started running my own blog. So like blogs were really popular. I started running a blog that was going to track the journey of me getting published. So like that was like the fire under my belt. And I was doing all this research on authors and how they became published. And like it just kept me so motivated and so inspired. In so in 2017, Twitter was still like a pretty big thing, a pretty big space, and there would be these pitch contests. So there was like Pit Mad and there was BV Pit that were really big, and essentially you could send a pitch out into the universe. And an agent would like that pitch. And if an agent liked the pitch, then you could send them your query letter. And it would kind of give you an extra foot in the door just because you've already gotten like a lot of eyes on this really unique pitch of yours. So in 2017 and 2018, I got really into doing that. I actually ended up getting an agent in 2018 based on
Oh, wow.
a pitch. There was like 2 agents that liked it. I sent my query letter to both of the agents. One of the agents responded right away. We signed within a week. This is a SME agent, by the way. This was a really bad deal for me. But that's how I got like my first foot into the door. We edited my first 3 chapters, and then I went right on submission right after that. I didn't know like what the I had researched so much of it before. I didn't know what happened after. So I didn't know what was supposed to come next. I didn't know if this was normal or not normal. I just signed a contract, and then I went on submission with all of these editors with this book that I was obsessed with. And we kind of heard a little bit back from Scholastic at the time. And then I never heard anything else from like any editor over the next year. My agent was super flighty. I would ask questions, I wouldn't get answers, I would never get updates. At this point, I'm thinking I'm probably not going to get anything. And that's when I started learning about what a shady agent was, aka a smagent.
Mm.
And I thought I need to find a way to get out of this contract immediately and pull my book off of sub and figure out like how to go next. So I basically like was already writing another story. I ended up asking this agent to pull my book from sub. They did not want to do that. I then was like, hey, like I actually sent them a form letter of like ending our relationship together. They were very upset by this. And but they like let me out of it. Thank God they let me out of the contract, and then I kind of went on finishing writing the story that I had written. It was a time traveling story, and then I went on I submission. I started going back into the query trenches and sending out queries, and this was the very first time I'd ever started receiving yeses in a query letter. So I was starting to see a lot of success when it came to full request and partial request. But the issue was that I actually wasn't getting any like yeses afterwards. So that book died in the query trenches, and I started writing what would then be my debut novel, The Undead Truth of Us. I started writing that in the fall of 2019. I finished it by spring of 2020 because I was locked in the house. And I did another pitch contest. And this time, this pitch kind of went mini viral, I would say, on Twitter. An author that I admired at the time ended up retweeting my tweet, and then it just kind of started spiraling after that. And I got a lot of like agent requests, and I was already getting a lot of good feedback from queries in general, but like this really boosted that momentum. And I remember thinking like, oh my goodness, I think I got like 17 full requests. I ended up getting like maybe 8 or 9 offers.
Wow.
And I, within 2 weeks, like had made an agreement with my now agent, who I love and adore. She's incredible. I love her. But that is how I kind of got and fell into traditional publishing. And we signed by the summer of 2020. We edited The Undead Truth of Us through the fall or through the rest of that summer. And then we went on sub with The Undead Truth of Us in August of 2020. And it sold to Disney before the end of the month. So it was just crazy, crazy, crazy.
Oh my God. Amazing.
Yeah. We're both like, holy shit.
So amazing. I love to hear. I wanted to ask you, you know, you mentioned that you saw like a difference between when you were querying at the start and then you started getting the, yeah, I want to hear more. Is there something during that period that really helped you elevate your query letter and your pitch and all of that?
Yeah, I think honestly, I at this point had written so many query letters in my young life. You know, I was like, man, like I got to figure out what's the juice for these query letters. And I started learning that there really was like a really great, what is it like? Not like synopsis. Like, how do you break down a query letter? It's like the hook, the cook, and the book, whatever it's called. There was a rhythm of the query letter that made sense to me, and like I started understanding it more because I had just graduated from university and I got a degree in communications, and my then job was a lot of marketing and branding stuff, and so I had learned how to have more concise query letters that really were able to like grab the hook of what the story was. And I think that was able to, I think that was what elevated me, was just being able to really understand how to write a query letter and the way that seemed appealing to an agent. And then also at that time that I was querying, I had been writing a story that was similar to what people were asking for. So it just happened to be kind of like a timing thing where the time traveler book that I had written at that point was like a it was a rom-com, and that's when like all the funny, like lighthearted young adult books were being sold, and it was time travel, and so it had like a unique twist to it. And but like the book itself needed a lot of work done to it, and I think that's why I didn't get any responses, because after the first 50 pages, which were polished, it was like everything else was kind of falling apart. And I learned a lot more of story structure once I got my agent. We really like worked through first, second, and third act, and I really learned about what it meant to be writing with using the help of what is that? There's a screenplay. I can't remember anything right now, guys. It's a crazy day. Save the Cat.
Save the
That's what
Cat?
it's called. Save the Cat. Yeah, that kind of really, really helped me when it came to like polishing up a story and learning how to plot stories, because everything else was character driven. So Anyway, but yeah, that is how I think I got that like elevated point of the yes was really learning how to sculpt a query letter and make it seem like, hey, this is something that you want to read because of all these things that you're already looking for.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love how tenacious you are.
Mm.
Like you have been going at it and now like look at you where you are a few years later. We're getting ready to celebrate like your next book, Blood Freaking Moon. It's not called Blood Freaking Moon. It's Blood Moon. I was being excited, okay? But and it is so gorgeous and the seeing the hype behind this book is so exciting
Mm.
because you deserve it truly. So, can you tell our listeners a little bit about this book, this gorgeous, stunning, amazing book?
Oh my goodness, you're gonna make me cry. Um, so Blood Moon is about our main character, Mirabella Owens, who goes by Mira. And Mira lives in this made up town in the Midwest in Kansas that is known for its legends of werewolves and vampires. Specifically, the werewolves who moved and traveled to the Midwest to protect the people from this growing threat of vampires. But that has just become a legend because years have passed and no one believes in vampires and werewolves except for some very interesting, backwoods people in the town. And so Mira, she used to believe in those legends, but she stopped believing in them after her mom just kind of upped and left when she was 13. Super strange. But things start picking up for her once she gets mysteriously accepted into the college of her town. Now, she had decided that she probably wasn't going to go to college, and her dad she felt like her dad needed a lot of extra loving and attention after, his wife left. But with some pushing and a really great scholarship that she honestly couldn't turn down, it was like really full room and board and like most of everything covered for tuition. She decided to go ahead and do this university thing where she ends up falling into this very interesting, tumultuous enemies to lovers romance with one of these boys, and a friend to lovers romance with another one of the boys. And in this experience, she ends up learning that the legends in her town are actually true. And she finds herself in a very weird magical war between these paranormal creatures. So that is Blood Moon.
Oh my
Mm,
God.
mm, mm, mm.
It sounds like
Very fun.
everything I want and need right now. Is there something that you want your readers to take away from this book?
Ooh, I really the one thing that I love about this story that I don't talk about a lot on the internet. I usually pitch my story as the Vampire Diaries meets New Moon or the Vampire Diary meets Legendborn because those are really high concept, easy to understand pitches. But Blood Moon, the main character Mira, she's such a complex character because she's dealing with anger and she's dealing with abandonment issues after her mom left. And so something that really was meaningful to me was how she ends up learning to challenge her anger and then us talking about anger being a gift and not really being something that should be shamed. And it just, I don't ever like, I'm someone that grew up with this false view of the world, thinking that everything had to always be happy. I went through a lot of weird and unfortunate trauma in my life, and I was displaced, and I moved in with my grandmother, and I just had all of this like hidden anger in me that I masked with happiness. And I didn't realize that I could be angry until after I was well into my 20s and after I was married and like working it all out through therapy and thinking like, oh my God, this is a normal emotion. Like I can be upset and angry. And so writing this book, I was able to put so much of like that work of what it feels like to actually be angry and also still be motivated and still like be able to be a whole person that's not really like shamed in who they are. So that's something that like I hope readers are able to take away, like finding relatability in a female main character that isn't just like the chosen one, but she's also like kind of pissed off. as well.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This makes me even more excited, honestly, to read it because, well, even what you were mentioning, of things that you think about way too often. And it's like, how are people so apathetic? And
Yeah,
it's like, be angry. Like, look at the world around you. Be angry about it, damn it. You know what I mean? And so
yeah,
it feels very with the times that we're living in of like it's okay to be pissed off about the things that you're seeing and do something
yeah,
about it and feel all the anger, especially as a woman, a young woman, especially like
yes,
feel that anger, fuck, let it out, be afraid,
yes.
be terrifying to people.
I love that. I love that. And honestly, too, like I'm trying to like pour into the terrifying aspect more as I write the second book, which is why it's been so hard for me because like we're dealing with a lot of monstrosity and the battle between like, is this good or is this bad? Like, does this make me a bad person if I make this decision that I know could hurt someone else?
Mm,
Um, and like, what is the better good? There's so many choices to make, and it's just everything's complicated. There's no real right answer. And so it's just been this book has just been beating me up because I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? Where do I go? But yeah.
but I think that's like you're in the perfect place because it shows that you really and truly care and like want to have this story right and get it right. So I think stay drowning in all of your confusion. You're gonna wade through it and you're gonna get out of it, and it's gonna be great. I can't freaking I keep saying I can't wait because I'm really really so excited. I love your how you write. I love your storytelling skills. So I I again, I'm gonna say it again. Take a shot, everybody. I'm excited for this story to come out. Yeah, everybody, shots of your espresso or whatever you have.
You
Okay,
too,
well, I want
sweetie.
to ask because I see we're down to like the last couple minutes or so, 4 minutes or so,
Mhm.
because you have been at it for so long. Just kidding, not that long, but you have been at it for a while now. So, like, looking back at all you've accomplished, what advice would you give a younger version of yourself before you even started this journey?
Ooh. I would tell myself to honestly like continue telling the story that I've always wanted to tell, and don't be afraid to go for it. I believed for a very long time that I could never be an author that could write fantasy in a way that I write fantasy now.
Mhm.
Like my prior two books, which I freaking love those books, they fall into more of a contemporary horror, speculative horror element. And they are very literary and I love them. But I also like have this belief that like I couldn't tell a fantasy story because it's just too complex. And also like I used to think that like no one would read a story by someone like me just because there weren't a lot of stories with black female main characters in these roles, which is why I'm talking about it a lot on the internet. It's just because like the representation really wasn't there and it wasn't accessible to me when I was a younger reader.
Mm.
And I only had what like my local library had or with what my high school had, which wasn't really much of anything. And so when I think about my writing journey and what I wanted to tell whenever I started writing, which I really wanted to tell a vampire and werewolf story, but I was just so afraid of doing it because it just seemed so unrealistic at that time, and I just thought that like there's not a world in which this would actually be sellable. Um, so I would tell myself to just write that story anyway, and that it still matters. And even if it wasn't going to quote unquote sell, like it would still be a fun adventure for me to do. And that's the advice I would give to anyone else too. Like even if it's just that silly idea in your head that you might feel embarrassed about or that you feel like no one would relate to it, just do it anyway because there's clearly like a calling somewhere inside of you. The universe is spinning in the right direction. I don't know. Um, but just do the thing that you love because writing the story that you are really drawn to just it changes the experience completely.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. I just know our listeners are going to be so inspired by you. Yeah, Melanie's back. She survived.
I am so fucking sorry. That. is like,
Okay.
I've just been coughing for like a minute straight. I'm sorry to derail you. It just has come out of nowhere. Like, anyway. Of course,
It
like you said, when you
happens.
turn the Zoom on, your body just revolts against it. But I
Oh,
was listening to your
absolutely.
beautiful words from the side as I.
You were
Yes,
just
he was
dying and
nodding.
listening at the same time. No big deal.
No, but seriously, it's
I'm
been
glad you
so
survived.
great to have you on, and I apologize for my throat. But yeah, we're so excited for you and grateful that you made the time on such a hectic day. And please
Yeah.
rest, enjoy your creamer.
Thank you. Thank you. I will enjoy my oat milk creamer. It is doing the job. You guys have been incredible, and I have listened to so many episodes, so it's just so fun to like be part of an episode and just talk with the two of you. And yeah, I feel so appreciated. You guys have been great. I feel like a celebrity on here, you guys.
You
This is
I think
great.
you
are. You
are.
are. We are just here, just like star eyes watching you. So, and have been for a while. So, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being amazing. Again, so excited for your book to come out and for you. So, yeah, thank you for taking the
Yeah.
time.
And I
Yay!
hope
Thank
I'm
y'all.
sending a witchy spell for you to find your horchata creamer as well, you know?
Mm, mm,
Try
mm, mm.
online because sometimes people resell.